it's Imani, and Shaniece is here with me today.
Hey y'all.
We're really excited to be answering your questions about our brand new self publishing course. A few days ago, I put up a community post asking you what you wanted to know, and while we didn't get a ton of questions, we did get a few really good ones. So we'll be addressing them in today's video, and then we're going to be breaking down basically like who it's for and why we're so passionate about teaching it.
Keep in mind, together, Imani and I bring over a decade of combined experience in self publishing and building a passive income stream through our books. We've drawn from that deep well of knowledge and experience to create this course so that you can benefit from what we've already learned.
Exactly. And this is actually a 3-in-1 program. So you're going to learn not only how to self-publish your own books, but you're also going to learn how to sell them through social selling, and you're going to learn how to build a thriving and supportive community too through YouTube. And what makes this program so special is that this is the exact method that I use to sell my book 30 Reasons Why Men Deserve Nothing. This is not my first book. As Shaniece mentioned, we've been publishing for quite a while now, and I've seen so much amazing success in that time. We both have.
We love this model because, simply put, books last. Even years later, they can keep earning royalties for you 5, 10 years after you've created them. It's one of the best ways to build lasting passive income, and books can even outlive you. Those royalties can be passed down to your children if you have them. I mean, a lot of us out here are child free, but just that as a possibility should be in your mind. Royalties and money that you earn from books last forever.
That's so true. You can be building a legacy for your children.
hmm And of course, we want to be upfront about this as well. Like any business model, this one isn't for everyone. Like, you have to enjoy books in some capacity. So whether that's reading, writing, whether you have a story that you've always wanted to tell, or whether you have expertise in a certain area that you want to share, you still have to like books. Okay. So if books don't interest you, then that's perfectly fine. And there's other opportunities for you to be able to earn through like passive income, etc. But books might not be the one for you. So basically, by the end of this video, our goal is to give you enough information to decide for yourself. You can walk away with all of the information basically that you need to decide if this course would benefit you or not.
So true. And one thing we're especially proud of with this course is showing you how to monetize yourself on YouTube before YouTube monetizes you. That's something a lot of YouTube courses skip over. They teach you the strategies of basically, building that 1,000 subscribers and that 4,000 hours of watch time. But what they don't tell you is that that can take months. It can even take years before you see a dime. And I know this from experience. This isn't my first channel. I actually had a channel in the past, and it took me years to come even close to hitting YouTube's requirements. And what a lot of people won't tell you is that your first 1,000 subscribers is like the hardest amount to get, and 4,000 hours of watch time is not how much you need overall, it's how much you need to gain within a year. So yeah, for a lot of people, that can be difficult. That's why it was so important for us to make sure that our community knows how to start monetizing from day one. And we also teach you our growth strategies, so how we grew really quickly as well. From there, you're not just self publishing, you're also building a community and you're stacking income streams. So you're going to have your book royalties, your community driven sales, and eventually AdSense once you hit monetization. And from there, you can go even further. That's what makes what we're teaching really stand out, I think. You're not waiting for YouTube to approve you, you're taking control from the start. So that's the big picture. Our goal is to give you clarity and help you decide if this path is right for you. Like I said, self publishing is one of our favorite business models for a reason. So without further ado, let's jump into today's questions. Okay, so these are the questions that we got from the community post. There's about 4. So we're going to start with number 1. How do you decide what to write about? Do you write what you want to read? And do you write what an audience wants to read? And I love this question. But Shaniece, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Well, you love the question. You start, and then afterwards, I'll add in any points that come to mind.
So basically, you can think about it in so many different ways. Like, I always say write to market. If you want to sell books, you have to write what people want to read. Basically, you can think about it this way though. If you do want to see whether or not the things you're interested in align with an audience, you can think about like, what are you really good at? Like, get a sheet of paper and write down, what are some of your interests? What are things that you enjoy talking about? What things do you do for work? You know, what things are you praised or complimented on? What have you achieved or overcome in your life that can help other people? What lessons do you have to share? Because you can share like life lessons too. A lot of people make their mess their message. And so that translates very well into book form, because the self help industry is a huge niche. And we actually do tell people to get into nonfiction. It's one of the easiest genres in which to sell books when you're helping people, because they're going to be looking for you. But what you want to do after you have your list of like things that you're good at, things that you're interested in, you want to validate those things. So you've got to validate your niche before you write anything. You've got to make sure that you're checking out the keywords and make sure that it is a low competition, highly profitable niche. Like once you establish that, you're guaranteed an audience pretty much, so long as you do it right.
And I will add to that too. It's like basically, and not to rephrase your question, but it's like if you can write what you want, you can do whatever you want. You can write what you want to read, but you just have to do that with the knowledge in mind that it won't necessarily be what sells. And so that's kind of the difference between like writing for yourself and writing to make sales and to earn passive income. And the two can definitely overlap, but sometimes the two don't. First of all, I would never say write something that you're not interested in. And obviously, don't write something that you don't have expertise in. That's just like nothing that you can do. You can't do research, in-depth research in, and be accurate in your information. You don't do that. You can't do that and be forthright and honest about the work that you're putting out there, because we always highlight you need to have a high quality product. But at the same time, what you might really, really like might not coincide with what's really, what people are searching for, what people are actually looking for information about. Same thing if you do fiction as well. What this kind of stories that you like, they might align with what the zeitgeist wants, they might not. So we always love when there's a great balance and overlap in what people want and in the skills, knowledge, stories that you have to tell, like in what you know. And that always makes a beautiful balance for you, where you're guaranteed to earn and also guaranteed to have a good product and actually help people.
Okay, so the next one isn't quite a question, but they did say, I'm just interested in the subject and I want to know more. It's always good to pick up new skills and refresh yourself. And absolutely, I completely agree. That's one thing that we've always made sure to do when we're checking out like new online businesses to get into. It's really important that we're able to develop transferable skills. So like we learned how to do like print on demand, and we can take that anywhere. Like I was able to design some really interesting cups about aqua tofana. And I was able to do that because of my background in print on demand and stuff like that. So absolutely, making books is a profitable skill. So just keep watching, and I hope that during our conversation that we have, it inspires more questions, and just drop them in the comments and maybe we'll have a part 2.
So, where to find people who can carefully look over your work?
Good question.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're looking for like editors, it depends on if you're looking for editors or beta readers or, what have you specifically, or if you even necessarily need it, because sometimes, especially with some of us like self-publishers, it's like sometimes you only really need line editing and stuff for grammar. But like if you want like a developmental editor, if you want like a line editor, if you want like somebody to really go in and like really work hard in editing your book, you might have to look for somebody like on Readsy. So there's a lot of professional editors on there. You might also want to go to, like, if you're looking for a beta reader, and that depends on a beta reader for what. Like if you're looking for like a sensitivity reader or just like alpha readers and beta readers, there are communities of writers and readers who you might want to kind of like join into groups with, depending on what you write about. Some of them are just fiction, some of them are nonfiction. Like it depends, but you can find them. You can definitely find them. They're out there.
They're out there on even platforms like Facebook. You would be surprised how many amazing author communities and just supportive writer communities are on Facebook. So please look into Facebook beta reader groups, writer help groups. There's so many.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them will even do peer swaps. So if you're looking to connect with other authors, you can trade work and help each other and give each other feedback.
And it can also help you save money, especially if you're just starting out. Also, if you are a little bit more strapped for cash, or if you're doing this like starting from like scratch with no money, another option is Grammarly. Luckily, it has good editing programs just to make your writing more professional, and so that you don't have any a bunch of like grammatical errors and typos everywhere. ChatGPT, I know some people hate AI, but like ChatGPT is good for that too. It can line edit for grammar, basically for you. So, and of course, we don't recommend like getting ChatGPT to write your whole book or something, but like line editing is done pretty simply with like an AI. If you feel comfortable, of course, running your work through AI. If you don't, you don't have to. That's all I have to say.
Number 4. So, okay, this is just a comment. Somebody says, I've self published several books and had no help at all and had to stumble through it, trial and error, and lots of research. Having an author guide you through the process is invaluable. So awesome that you offer this. And thank you so much. In fact, it's actually 2 of us. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like you're getting the expertise and the experience of many years of two authors. And absolutely, I agree with you. We had to stumble through a lot of it with trial and error as well. And there's mistakes that I made. And first of all, we came to our senses eventually and ended up buying courses ourselves and learning a lot. But even after that, I made mistakes that cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I left a lot of money on the table simply by not knowing certain things, because what you don't know can hurt you, like running ads. I didn't really see it as all that important. There were books that we published, and we did very well with these books. Like I published books that have made hundreds almost immediately. And I was like, oh, this is nice. I didn't know that like you could make so much more. So I was just chilling. I was just like, oh, look at that. Look,
Yeah.
Shaniece. And Shaniece was showing me her wins as well. It was years later when I learned how to run ads and run them properly and took it seriously. And it's like, if I was running ads back then, I would have made 6 figures much sooner with books.
Yeah, you didn't realize, and I didn't either. I didn't realize that the times that your book starts to make sales is the time that where you're supposed to be like, this is showing us proof of concept. You're supposed to run ads. Like, I didn't know that. You
Yes.
and that like one thing I can say is that every dime that we've invested into publishing a book has always been worth it. But like when we say that we've lost money, it hasn't been through the investment into the book. It's through not knowing how to really get all the gains, get all the profits from that book. And so not knowing how to run ads, that cost me tens of thousands of dollars as well.
And not seeing it as important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes when you don't know what's possible, then you think you're winning. Like
Yeah,
I'm
it's like,
making thousands.
yeah,
I'm
it's a
winning.
couple $1,000s. This is
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
And it's like, no, you could have made tens of thousands.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hard lessons when you don't know. And that's the thing, like, you can learn anything online. You can learn almost anything online by yourself. But it is the difference between learning something within learning something within hours versus learning something within years. When you don't invest in yourself, when you don't invest in proper programs from people who know what they're doing, then it can literally it can take you years.
Yeah.
So it just takes you longer to reach places. And time is the one resource that you never get back.
Yeah. You
And
can't earn it back. You can't,
exactly,
right?
and it's always slipping away.
Mm-hmm.
So I say if you can ever choose between your time and choose between money, always choose to save your time and invest your money, because you can make money. You can make more money. You
Mm-hmm.
can't you can't get back time.
Yeah. No matter
So
how much money you make, you can't get back that time.
exactly. So yeah, that's it for the questions from the community post. Thanks so much, y'all. And please add more if you have any more questions. We're
By the
just
time we're done with these FAQs, you might have some questions at the end that we didn't cover.
absolutely.
So the first question is, how much money does it really cost to self-publish a book?
So people may want to know if this is a $0 side hustle or if it's like a $5,000 investment.
Basically, it just depends. It's all up to you.
Yeah.
And being a self-published person, like I'm pretty scrappy when it comes to things, so it's like I like to do it myself, and a lot of the stuff myself. Like I do my own graphic design, so I make my own covers. I did my own editing through like a Grammarly program or like a different thing that I can use to just line edit really quick for me to make sure that my grammar is okay. So it's like these are things that I do personally, because like personally I don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on a book, even if I know that it's going to sell and stuff like that. Like I have invested like a lot of money into books before, but like not my written books, and I didn't suffer for it. So there's some people who will invest a lot in like cover design, editor, ghostwriters. Some people use like ISBNs, another thing. There's ways to make it cost a lot to self-publish a book, but it can cost anywhere from literally $0 to thousands of dollars depending on what you do. So you can
Absolutely.
literally start at any level.
Yeah, you can start literally free. Like, that's what's so appealing to us about self publishing. It was one of the online businesses that we could actually get into while being broke back in the day. You can start by yourself. That's what I do as well. I write my own stuff, I design my own covers. I designed the 30 Reasons Why cover. I did that in Canva. As long as you're willing to learn and as long as you're willing to spend the time, this can be free. But if you do have the money, this can be as expensive as you want it to be at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You can get the best editors who are super expensive. You can get covers that are worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. I've seen beautiful, expensive covers. You can do that. ISBNs, that is something that's not negotiable for the most part. If you're in the UK or Canada, you can get free ISBNs. Every book needs ISBNs. It's just the special numbers on the back that uniquely identify it. Americans unfortunately have to buy ISBNs. You can publish free through Amazon, but they're gonna own your ISBN, meaning that they kind of own your book. You can't sell it off platform. Like if you're serious about self-publishing, you don't want Amazon to own your book. So I would buy and own my own ISBN. And you can get them at certain websites.
I know one of them is Bowker.
Yes. Yeah, you can get them on also isbnservices.com for as little as $22.99. Um, and that just allows you to sell it anywhere. So eventually, you don't want to just be on Amazon. They don't give one platform all that power. Eventually, you might want to, like, it's called going wide, where you sell elsewhere too. Ads is another one. Ads, you can run cheap ads and you can glean really important information from running ads that are as little as $5 a day. But that's the thing, you don't want to run ads right away, anyways. You want your book to be selling. And then you put ads on books that are already selling. Mind you, you can put ads on books that haven't sold yet if you have extra money just to gain information. Because there are certain things that you can learn through running ads. It's completely up to you. I wouldn't worry about ads until you're selling, though. There's so much to say about ads. I think that covers it for now.
Yeah.
Let us know if you have any questions about that, y'all. Let's just get on to the next question. So, can you actually make real money with self publishing, or is it just pennies? Completely understandable. There's like this common misconception that self published authors don't make much money at all. And I think it comes from a study that was done, I'm not even sure how long ago, but it was basically suggesting that the average amount that self publishers make is like, what was it, like 1,000 to like $1,900 a year. But it didn't account for the authors that actually take it seriously,
Mm-hmm.
like the ones who are treating it as a business, because those people made significantly more. So when they removed the hobbyists, the average went up. Now, I want to preface by saying that self publishing is not a get rich quick business model. But at the same time, books are an amazing way to start building passive income. And every single book that you publish has the potential to earn you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. I have books that regularly bring me in hundreds a month. And it's like you can take that money and reinvest it in more books. Or you can use that money and it can, pay some bills, buy your groceries. And that's the thing, as long as you publish strategically, if you make high quality books and you are advertising those books regularly, you can build up enough money with your book royalties that it starts to cover your lifestyle, that it can grow to significant money that you can use to invest in the stock market or finally go on that dream vacation, or even buy a property, or put towards your retirement or into a tax free savings account, and so much more. So, the J.K. Rowlings of the world are very rare. One book doesn't make most people millions of dollars and then a big movie and all of these things. But at the same time, there is money there. Like, I am part of online groups and I just listen to their strategies. I read their posts, and these people, a lot of them earn, 5 figures a month. A lot of them are doing 6 figures a year. At the end of the year, in a lot of these groups, they will post their earnings just for inspiration for the newbies and the people who are still on their journey to financial freedom with books. These people, some of them are doing like multiple 6 figures a year. There was a woman last year, and she hit nearly 700,000 for the year. She was projecting to do like 1 million this year. So it's not rare that people are able to make a full time income with books. The thing is, it looks different than the big celebrities or the big authors. That's the only difference. A lot of these people, they rapid release, so they're releasing different books on a regular basis. And that makes sense because you might write the book of your dreams and it might not bring in all that much money. But if you release 5 more or 10 more books, one of those books might take off, or half of those books might take off. And that doesn't make you a famous author. Maybe that doesn't get you a movie or a show, but you're still able to live on that money. The book industry was valued at approximately $151 billion in 2024. That's crazy. And it's projected to reach 192 billion by 2030. Become much more accessible, and it's getting easier thanks to social media, thanks to more people buying books. And that's the thing, like people really underestimate how much an individual can make on their own without being a celebrity. There's so many successful self-publishers. People wouldn't be publishing books every year if it didn't make anything. So you too can absolutely win in this space so long as you are creating high quality books that people want to read and you know how to get it in front of your audience, which we teach you how to do. And don't forget, you'll not only have books as an income stream, if you join our program, you're going to also learn how to leverage YouTube to create more income. And don't just think of books as just one sale. Books are a doorway. It can also turn your readers into fans who buy every future book that you publish. So, the real money in book publishing, as a business person, as a business minded person, the real money is in the funnel that your book creates, not just the one book itself. So, we need to think bigger if we want to look at books as a business, like books as a way of earning life changing income, because the potential is there and a lot of people have achieved it. We've made life changing money with books as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it for myself to be true. You can make a lot. There are a lot of authors who are just quietly making a lot of money, life changing money. They're full time authors, they're not famous writers. And you've never heard of them, you've never heard of their books, and they're doing very well. So it's completely understandable. I do show y'all some of my results within the course. So you can just even get inspiration from me. But yeah, no, there's money to be made.
And once again, I feel like a lot of it comes down to like the first question that somebody had asked before, like, do I write what I want to read or would I write to market? And it's like it's coming to that balance of what people are looking for and what you can actually provide. So if it's like if they're looking for a certain kind of story within a certain kind of genre, you can write that. If there's a lot of people looking for a certain skill or area of expertise that you have, like that is when you're going to find that you make more money because you can put a bunch of books out there that like nobody really wants to read and you can end up earning pennies. So that's what's really beautiful about having the information on how to do your market research before you spend your time creating some kind of product or you know that anyone wants it.
That is so true. And that's actually what we teach in the course as well. We teach you how to curate, how to find profitable keywords in low competition niches. It's the same methods we've used to make sure that we know that the books that we create are going to sell before we publish them. So that's why the research part is so important.
Mm-hmm.
The next question is,
How long will it take before I make sales or see results?
so people, I get it, people can be really impatient. You put out your book, you want to see sales right away. But I actually was listening to like a world-renowned marketer earlier today on a podcast, and he was saying that people have this misconception that right away your book, as soon as you publish it, it needs to be selling. A lot of people think that if a book is a New York Times bestseller, it means it's selling millions of copies forever. But the truth is, that list is mostly based on the first week of sales. So, like the first week that a book launches. After that, it doesn't really matter how the book performs long term, it's still considered a success by the average person. And honestly, it comes down to aggressive marketing. Like, that's all that being on the New York Times bestseller list is. So, there's like publishers and authors who will actually game the system by buying thousands of their own book just to push their title onto the list. That's why plenty of New York Times bestsellers sell big in week one and then barely move copies after that. So, it's not at all a reflection of a book's staying power. Meanwhile, there are books from authors you've never heard of who never make the list at all, but they have strong word of mouth and a loyal readership. And those books sell quietly and steadily for years, and they earn their authors way more money long term. So, what you don't want is fast sales. You want steady sales over the course of years. We've got books that we put out years ago that still sell today. I put out a book 5 years ago, it's still one of my best sellers. And that's true success. When your books, over time, they're just always selling, you know? It's so important to be patient. And I'll give you a story from my own life. I published a book about 2 years ago, and I did my research, and it was a great niche. It was low competition. And when I put it out, it was like crickets. But then suddenly this year, out of nowhere, starting in June, that book suddenly sold over 100 copies every single month. Like my sales for that book skyrocketed. It was a plant book, and I guess a lot of people just really wanted to learn about plants this year. I don't know what the case is, but that book had been like buried in Amazon's algorithm for the longest time, and then suddenly it's one of my top sellers. And it just shows you how unpredictable and exciting this industry can be. Like, don't write off your books. And that's why patience is so important. Don't think like, oh, I published a book a few weeks ago, or it's been a month, or even a year, and nothing's happening. It must be a failure. The truth is, sometimes it can take 1 to 2 years before you can really gauge if a book is successful. But not only that, trends shift, readers talk, and momentum builds in ways that you can't always predict, meaning that a book that sat quietly for years can just suddenly take off. So give your work time to breathe. Success that's lasting often comes later, not instantly. And like I said, you don't want that New York Times bestseller instant success that like just trickles off after the first week.
And not only that, it's like this is just like another lesson of just like create your book, put it out, and just start on another one. Start on the next before like you get in your head about like whether this book is doing good or not. Just start writing your next one because you don't know if like your books in the back end basically are going to just start steadily picking up. Don't just hyper focus on how well one book is doing. Just keep creating because yeah, a lot of this just builds up over time. And it's the 80/20 rule too. Some books are going to do really really well, are going to be like your top selling books that earn you the most amount of, and some are going to be like they make a few sales here and there, but like yeah, don't discount any of the books that you've created because they can basically start selling at any time. So it's not a reason to stop creating books, and just keep going. It's like at the end of the day, it's a game that's like a long game, and you just build it up over time.
Absolutely. And every book is a seed. You're planting seeds. You may
Mm-hmm.
not see the payoff right now. You might see it later. And really, the only difference between the books that sell right away and the books that take a couple years for people to start buying them is how long it takes for your book to get in front of your audience. That's literally it. Sometimes like your audience will see your book right away, other times it might take them some time, and that's where social selling comes in. If you are online, you're on social media and you're talking about your book regularly, you are propelling your book so much faster to get in front of the proper audience. So you don't have to wait years like I waited. If you write your books and you are talking about them, you're on social media and you're doing what we teach, you're going to see these book sales come in much faster. So the next question is, do I need to be a professional writer to succeed? A lot of people doubt their talent. A lot of people think that you had to go to school for English. I went to school for English. It didn't really help me too much in writing my books, honestly. You don't need to be a professional writer to succeed. People are not reading books to see how smart you are. People are seeking out and reading books because they want a transformation. You know, if obviously if it's fiction, they want to be entertained, they want to feel something, they want to be taken on a journey, they want escapism. But if it's like nonfiction, if it's like the self help space and stuff like that, people have a problem. And when people have problems, they go to books sometimes to try to see if those books can help them to resolve their problem. So see it like that. I have an answer that's going to change someone's life. That's what you need to focus on. It doesn't need to be the most beautiful prose to get that across. In fact, being straightforward, being clear, being concise is like the best way to get your point across. So, no, you don't need to be a professional writer. You don't need to be Toni Morrison's protege or anything like that to get your message out there and help somebody.
I'm so glad that you said that too, because like I feel like that is a huge barrier for a lot of people. They feel like, well, I don't have what it takes. Well, who am I to be, and a lot of us will kind of, those doubts will block us from
Starting.
yeah, from beginning. So I'm just glad that you cleared that up, because
Thank you.
yeah, absolutely, you don't have to be a professional writer. You don't have to have some kind of bachelor's in English and English lit or something like that. You don't have to, unless you're like doing a specific kind of writing. Like
Mm-hmm.
no, you don't need those specific overly qualified skills. You don't need to be like overqualified for this. You can just, yeah, if you just have a message, if you just have answers for some, like, yeah.
Exactly. That's what they're looking for. So the next question, do you want to read it?
Sure. So, do I need an audience before I publish, or can you start from zero?
Everybody starts from zero. Everybody starts from zero. I didn't have an audience when I started. When this channel started, it was 0 subscribers. When I first put out my book, there were 0 readers. This is a barrier that keeps people from starting a lot of the time. They feel like, well, of course you can put out something. Look at your subscriber base, right? Look at forgetting that everybody starts from zero.
Yeah, the book was made before the channel.
Exactly.
So, I mean, if that isn't a something basically to inspire you or to dispel any of your like doubts about that, I don't know what is.
For real. And that's partly why we are teaching people how to do social selling and how to build a thriving community through YouTube so that you can build your audience. And these are going to be your supporters. So anything that you come out with in the future, a lot of them are going to be excited to check it out, and you build your audience as you create your videos and you write your books. I hope that helps. So the next question is, what types of books sell best for beginners? In our experience, we like to teach people to start with nonfiction. Even if you want to do fiction later on, even if you're passionate also about fiction books, nonfiction is the most accessible. It's the easiest to gain a reader base because people are looking for you.
Mm-hmm.
With fiction, you've got to kind of convince people, like, look at my world, it's interesting, check out my characters, they're engaging. Like, there's so much more to it, and also there's so much more to like learning different genres and stuff like that, and how to write for each genre in fiction. Whereas with nonfiction, again, you're solving a problem, so people are coming to you, people are typing in words into the search bar on Amazon hoping to find you. And so I don't know, I feel like that helps with conversions.
Same.
Yeah.
I feel like if you do start with fiction, maybe start with like a lower like a or short reads over full length, because full length can take you so much time. And
Well, that's
at,
for both. That's absolutely for nonfiction as well.
yeah,
Short reads.
yeah. So like even if you're going to start with that, even though we don't really recommend it, starting with like a shorter read fiction book might be something that you might want to do, because then you'd be like more so rapid releasing, and it would be easier for you to like come out with multiple like books in a shorter amount of time than to like work on a, like some people work on their full length novel for like years, and you really want to get something out. So like you can
Yes.
just really spend a lot of time, whereas like alternatively you could work on shorter reads or nonfiction reads while you work on like a full length novel in the background, so that you're at least earning passive income,
Absolutely.
hopefully to even support your ability to work on something that's, you know, that's a full length feature that you've always wanted to write, your like dream book, right?
Yeah, your
So
passion projects.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Activity books sell. That's another thing. Activity books do sell. Low versus mid versus high content. Oh, mid to high content always do. Low
Yeah.
content books are oversaturated and low quality, a lot of them,
Yeah,
and you don't
low
really want to be like just caught up in the sea of low content, low quality books.
like low content books, y'all, are the journals. They're the line journals. They're the blank books. They're the books with like hardly anything in them. Yeah, the barrier to entry is way too low.
Yeah.
It's saturated. I hate to even use these terms, but it is
Yeah.
hard. It's the competition is so fierce. Make books that you have to put in more effort,
Mm-hmm.
and you will see results.
No, it's no surprise, no offense, but like the ex-wives was always gonna catch a stray on this channel. But you know, it was the ex-wives who really filled up like a lot of these platforms like KDP and stuff with like a ton of really low quality books and like low content books of like just journals, blank this and that books. And like it made it so that like Amazon started terminating accounts that would upload like hundreds of these kinds of garbage books a day. So don't do that,
Yeah,
because you can really be risking your account. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
that is so true.
Yeah.
They messed up the game. If you want to blame anyone for why low content books don't sell like that, it was the XYs. Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's just true. It's true. So how do Amazon ads work? Do I need them to succeed? So we did touch on this. You don't need Amazon ads to succeed. That's why we're also teaching social selling, because you can just sell your books and advertise them free through social media. Amazon ads, they work by pushing your books out to a bigger audience that Amazon thinks would be interested in your books. And they really only work if your books are already a proven concept. If they're already selling, Amazon ads are amazing. I've made tens of thousands with with Amazon ads, but that's only because the book was doing well to begin with, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I tried to put ads on this current book that I'm selling, 30 Reasons, and it doesn't sell with ads. People are looking for this book. When they go to Amazon, they're just typing it in and they're buying it. Pushing it out to more people doesn't help.
Because I
Um
think that, and I think that Amazon is suppressing that kind of content. I don't think that Amazon likes it. So
fair.
I don't think that they do.
Fair.
So it's like that's why you had to bring it in front of an audience and say,
Yeah.
this is what I want to show you, because a lot of these platforms,
You're
ooh,
so
anyway.
right. No, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, I don't think that they liked that content being so even if you put ads on it, they wanted to kind of show you, no, this doesn't
You
sell.
know what?
Write something
I
else.
think you're right. I think
Yeah.
you're right because it would hardly even spend my ad spend for the day. Like it wouldn't even spend my money
Yeah.
it was not pushing it at all. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, interesting. That's interesting. Next is how do I avoid wasting money on a book that doesn't sell?
Don't put ads on it.
Well, yes. But also that's where your keyword research comes in. That's where your niche research comes in. That's why it is such a significant part of what we teach.
And also, like in the very beginning, we talked about this before, like when the question of like how much does it cost to publish a book? It can cost as much as you want it to. So like another way to avoid wasting money on a book that doesn't sell, write things yourself, do your research first of all. Write things yourself, do a lot of the stuff that you can do yourself, do it yourself. If you are good at graphic design, if you have any skills in art, or you know, whatever the case, use the skills that you have.
Or if you're willing to learn,
Or
go learn. There's
yeah,
tutorials. They're
you know,
free.
but otherwise if you're okay spending the money because you don't want to spend the time, then that's a trade-off that you can make as well. But yeah, it's definitely something that you determine on what you're willing to spend and what you're willing to like do yourself.
So the final question that we have here is, do I need to show my face on YouTube or can I be faceless? And it's like, y'all, what do you think? Like, I was very intentional that I did not want to show my face. There's pros and cons to being faceless or being face forward. Obviously, if you're face forward, it's easier to trust people when you can see who they are. It's easier to like them. Sponsors are easier to come by. They like when they can see your face. Then sponsors want to sponsor people who are like visible. But mind you, sometimes it's like your privacy is worth so much more than all of that. You know, it's like your peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely succeed. We've
Either
succeeded.
way.
Yeah, like I think we're doing well,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and we've chosen to be faceless.
And keep in mind, like you can always reveal your face. You can always do a face reveal. What you can't do is unreveal yourself, right? So yeah, for as long as we're comfortable, we're gonna do it like this. But we can do a face reveal at any time we wanted to. I like the ease of not having to do a face reveal is that you don't have to be glammed up on camera. You don't have to like worry about any of that stuff. Like
Your area, like you don't have to be like, oh my god, I have to find a filming area. It needs to be aesthetic. I need my lighting to be really good. Yeah, you don't have to worry about any of
yeah,
that. So I feel like you can be more consistent. That's one thing. When you're faceless, it's like a podcast. You can be way more consistent with your content, and that helps you grow faster.
that's true. Some people have like camera shyness too. Like I can understand like not wanting to be out there, putting yourself out there too. Even though you're to grow something, you're gonna have to kind of show up in some way. But like you don't have to show up like that if you don't want to. You can choose how you want to show up. So show up with your voice.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a good answer. So, that's all we have for questions for now. Shanice, did you have any other comments that you maybe wanted to add?
Well, I would just say that like if you guys, because this is all we could think of for now, or at least I could think of for now. So I just had it in my mind to remind you all that if you have any other questions, put them in the comments below because we would like I'm sure that there's something we might have missed, and it's like you ask away. We're gonna be happy to basically help you, but this is what we came up with. And I think that this is a pretty good understanding of what you'll be able to learn and what is possible.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. And y'all, every day that passes, we're getting closer and closer to the launch date, and we're so excited. If you haven't already joined the wait list, please make sure to do that. The link is in the description. Doors open for early bird admission September 21st, so be sure to join the wait list so you can be notified as soon as it launches and take advantage of all the perks. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.
bye.